Why, hello there, everyone. PGaming156 here, and I'm finally back. Oh boy, it's been a good 2 days or 2 minutes since I previously live streamed this game. And as I previously mentioned, we are going to be continuing on with the campaigns, or with the Sonic timeline, and today we're going to be playing Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles once more, but this time as everyone's favorite character. Speaking of which, Knuckles the Echidna, and boy, he just flew off into the distance. Fantastic. Well, that's a great start if I do say so myself. It really is that time of the day again. But anyways, without any further delay, let's get right into this. A decent amount of you have been waiting for this moment, and here we go again. Gotta love that Sega logo. Classic one indeed, and just like that, back to the title screen we go. I'd also like to point out how they even bothered using the original theme for the title screen. Always found that pretty funny. In the Origins release, at least. Originally, it was just the Sonic and Knuckles theme. But anyways, back to our pretty decent collection of save files, if I do say so myself. I mean, we can always 100% another. That's how Sonic goes. Or any video game, for that matter. But anyway, here's our boy Knuckles here, and let's get right into this. Here we go. Oh boy. And there he is. Back to Mushroom Hill Zone. Pretty odd location, if I do say so myself. And oh, well, rest in peace, Knuckles. You shall be missed. You died this early on. Oh no. And there he goes. And don't worry, I'm about to explain all of that in case you didn't get that in 3, 2, 1. Anyway, so pretty much, as most of you already could probably tell, the Knuckles campaign and Sonic and Knuckles for that matter takes place after the events of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, where after the destruction of the Death Egg, one of the Badniks in Sky Sanctuary Zone, or the Egg Robos to put it that way, actually survived, since canonically I guess Sonic just killed all of them, but one ended up surviving, and that one Egg Robo continued to be pretty much finished what Dr. Robotnik started, and he now wants to go after Knuckles, and he pretty much just attacks him for no reason. Well, he's just chilling Mushroom Hill Zone without anything else to do. Poor guy couldn't catch a break after he helped Sonic reach the Death Egg. Oh, and hello to you too, Badniks. Nice seeing you here. But anyways, this game plays just like the previous one, with yet again the only difference being that you're controlling our boy Knuckles here, everyone's favorite character. Again, I know I constantly mentioned this before, but for those of you who don't know how Knuckles controls, he pretty much controls the exact same with 3 major differences. The first one being, he can't jump as high, which, boy, just implement a decent amount of challenge, since jumping is critical in platforming, again, hence the name. But anyways, apart from that, Knuckles can also glide and climb too. Well, he can't climb every wall in the game. There are most of them which he can climb, which is pretty sweet. It does make navigating somewhat a bit easier. And then there's the final change, which also, in my opinion, makes the game a bit more challenging, which is his increased hitbox. You may not believe me at first, but those of you who watch my Knuckles the Echidna in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 playthrough definitely know what I'm talking about. Since his increased hitbox just makes him a lot easier to hit. Though on the bright side, it does make grabbing things a bit easier, so there's that going for it. And anyways, getting a pretty decent amount of identical cutscenes here, and just like that, boy, this place cannot catch a break from just burning in fire, or burning in flames. Decent amount of those machines too, for that matter. I guess Sonic also destroyed one of them. Pretty odd, but anyways, as most of you noticed, the giant rings are just about in the exact location, and getting the emeralds works exactly like it did in the previous game, or at least in the Sonic campaign, where all you gotta do is, instead of collecting 50 rings and taking them to a specific place without taking any damage, all you have to do now is just find one of the giant rings scattered throughout Angel Island Zone, run into them, or jump inside the portal, however you want to call it, and then you'll be taken to Blue Spear, one of them, in my opinion, the most memorable special stage there is to this day. And once you've gained access to the special stage, all you gotta do is get all the blue spears, without touching any red ones, obviously. Don't let the different color pads of each character confuse you. You always want to get the blue ones no matter what. And speaking of blue spears, here we are. One of the tips of advice I do want to give out when it comes to these stages alone is to always go for the perimeter. Whenever each group has a higher area than 4, I always recommend you go for the perimeter. Since if you go for the perimeter, the area inside that perimeter, or that group to put it that way, will just turn into rings. So it definitely makes collecting a lot of these a lot easier, and just like that, that is the second emerald, ladies and gentlemen. The orange one, or... yeah, the orange one, if I do say so myself. Or the yellow one. They got a lot of the color palettes wrong. Just something I also wanted to point out. Pretty cool. But anyways, Angel Island Zone Act 1. Oh goody, it's been a hot minute since we were here last, so why not? Why not go again? Please forgive me, I can't talk today. Anyways, with that inconvenience out of the way, back to jumping throughout loops and platforming, and then doing whatever the heck this is supposed to be, and then there you have it. There's the first mini boss. Also like to point out how in Angel Island and Hydro City there are only two giant rings per act. Which, to be fair, makes a bit of sense, since again, this is somewhat the introduction to this specific mechanic, so there's Act 1 for it, and just like that, our boy Knuckles has made his way through Act 1. Gotta love that, ladies and gentlemen, and even his victory animation is perfect. Anyways, Angel Island Act 2, we can't go back. Rest in peace, giant rings. But anyways, as most of you also noticed, to accommodate for the different playstyle you get as given to you by Knuckles, some of the levels have their own unique pathways are exclusive to Knuckles. Which is pretty cool. Gives it all the more variety and gives you all the more reason to explore. Pretty neat. Just to showcase Knuckles' new abilities and weaknesses. That being of his increased hitbox and his lacking jumping type. But I guess his climbing ability and his gliding ability does make up for it in a way. Again, navigation is essential in this game, especially when it comes to getting the giant rings, so there's that. But it looks like we're not going to be able to get any giant rings in Angel Island Act 2 since we can't go back. Just pretty strange to me, since in the Genesis release at least, I do recall you were able to go back after you beat Act 1 to then grab one of the rings. A pretty weird change on their behalf, but oh well. Just gotta live with it, I guess. Anyways, even gotta love the stage transitions. Just a masterpiece, top notch if I do say so myself, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, at this point, since there aren't any more giant rings for us to collect as Knuckles in Angel Island, we might as well just get to the mini boss or the boss. Speaking of which, there he is, our good old buddy Egg Robo, and just like that, I took damage in the most inconvenient possible. Just in case you didn't believe me when I said Knuckles has a much larger hitbox. There you go. I've officially proven my point. I've proven my point, I guess. Whoopie-doo. You want to be careful not to accidentally just jump off and just glide into the bottomless pit at least. But anyway, this guy goes down relatively easy. Half the time they're just repeats of the fights from the previous game, so that's still a joke. And just like that, that is Act 2, with more Flicky Spirit and another capsule flying away. Really were a decent amount of these since Flying Battery. To be fair, that stage really did give you an in-depth lore on how many capsules there even were for each Flicky in each zone. Speaking of zones, there it is, Hydro City, and Knuckles has completely jumped off the bridge. Since we're the Echidna himself, we don't have to worry about pretty much just getting ambushed or assaulted every 5 seconds by a random switch. Which is for the better, but anyways, that is exactly why we're playing as Knuckles, and whatever the heck just happened there, physics, I guess. Really did just forget to remove the current effect after it pushed you to the other part of the level. Anyways, Game Engine, please feel nice with me today, thank you. And assuming you go this way, congratulations, you have found yourself another giant ring, which, speaking of which, is right there. Can't this get any more convenient, ladies and gentlemen? Here we go again, back to everyone's favorite Snuggle Stage, Blue Spears. In fact, everyone loved this so much that they even made a nearly never-ending game of it. In Sonic 1, at least. Speaking of, I should probably give you a bit more in-depth in the development history of this game. Basically, the Sonic & Knuckles cartridge had a lock-on feature, and if you pretty much put it in with another cartridge like the one from Sonic 2, either Sonic 2 or or Sonic 1, you could even get a bonus with Sonic 2 allowing you to play as Knuckles the Echidna himself in West Side Island, and with every other game on the Genesis, including Sonic 1, just taking you to Loose Gear. Which does make sense for the most part, since they weren't really going to implement an Echidna in those other games, which made sense for the most part, but Sonic 1, they could have somewhat implemented Knuckles. To be fair, at the end of the day, they never really got it to work until a fan managed to pull that off, which is pretty interesting. Since I guess that never really came to be until 2014 or so, if that's when the release came to be. But anyways, with that interesting fact out of the way, that is another Emerald, ladies and gentlemen. We are on a good pace, if I do say so myself. I mean, we may or may not have missed 2 giant rings in Angel Island Act 2 for obvious reasons, but it's fine. After all, we only have 4 left. 7 of which you have to collect. Which, ask me, really, collecting the emeralds in the Knuckles campaign again really almost never makes a lot of sense to me. Since supposedly Sonic was the one who was meant to keep the emeralds in the first place, and the Super Emeralds were already activated. So the Knuckles campaign just makes it seem like that almost never happened. Even if the Doomsday Zone was canon. But to be fair, I guess that was just for the sake of adding another super character, which I really don't blame them. They really didn't want you to cheese the game, now would they? Anyways, you want to go this way, since if you go out, there's nothing but a checkpoint. What did I tell you? Perfectly know this game like the back of my head. Don't ask how. But anyways, with that out of the way, onward to go. Any minute, any day now. Beautiful. We nearly suffocated to death for the 1 millionth time, and just like that, would you look at that? Up we go. Fantastic. We're approaching, and just like that, I missed the other giant ring. Beautiful. Well, there you have it. Speed's working against me now. Is that remarkable? Anyways, we missed about 3 giant rings right about now, but it's fine. Again, the increased hitbox Knuckles has makes it all the harder to hit bosses at times. Especially the Death Drop, and boy was that fun. For those of you who recall my previous playthrough. Well, to be fair, it does present the game with a new challenge, which I do like. Pretty sweet if I do say so myself. Anyways. This mini-boss's pattern is pretty easy to learn. He really goes down in less than 10 seconds if you're playing as Sonic, but again, we're playing as Knuckles here, so the pacing has decreased a bit. And just like that, out of nowhere, another sign has conveniently fallen down, and that is Act 1, ladies and gentlemen. We may have missed a giant ring, but again, it's fine. Perfectly all part of my master plan, just you wait. Act 2, you gotta love the transitions. Perfectly, beautifully made. Anyways, here we go. Another cool feature they even implemented as Knuckles was the fact that you could literally just run through walls and break most of them. Didn't you have to use spin dash, and I guess that proves the amount of muscle power he has. Pretty neat if I do say so myself, ladies and gentlemen, but just like that, there you go. There's the racing aspect of most of these games. Yet again, just putting the emphasis on speed, which I highly like. Or appreciate, I meant to say. This is a Sonic game after all. I would say when it comes to level design alone, I'd say, in my opinion, the games that have the best level design, in my opinion, are probably Sonic 2 and Sonic and Knuckles. Or Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I should say. Since those 2 games pretty much just perfectly balance the formula of traveling at a decent velocity, at a decent speed, while yet again balancing the amount of platform. It was just a good balance, if you know what I mean. That hardly made any sense, but anyways, here we go. We're trying to speedrun, kind of. And it's a fun fact: if you jump off a hoop early at a specific time when you're about to get to the other side, you can if you jump off, you actually increase your speed, which is pretty cool. Makes navigation and building speed all the easier, if you ask me. But anyways, there we go. Gotta love these animations. And yet again, Knuckles can literally just run through water, given the high velocity. Beautiful. There it is, physically, ladies and gentlemen. Always gotta love to see that aspect in video games. It's only gotta be killed nearly 10 million times in Sonic, but it's fine. Might as well make it somewhat according to real life while you're at it. Anyways, I missed my time there and I actually suffered a speed penalty, but it's fine. Just like that, what did I tell you? All part of my plan, and we have uncovered another giant ring. Thank you. Oh goody, back to getting more blue spears, my favorite. My one other tip of advice that I would recommend when it comes to most of these stages are, when it comes to getting the isolated blue spears, I like to call them, the ones that are, in other words, broken away from other clusters of blue spears or groups. I honestly recommend always grabbing them, just to notify you've already been to a specific area and you've already collected all the blue spears in said area. It just makes navigation all the easier, and trust me, you won't get lost as often if you do end up implementing this aspect. It will help you in the long run, since for a lot of first-time players, it can be easy to get lost in a lot of these stages. Just to be fair, we are running on a planet after all, so there's that. Which, speaking of which, was pretty much the theme of blue spears, or at least that's what it started. The idea of Sonic just running on a planet collecting things. Pretty neat if I do say so myself, and remarkable for that matter, but just like that is 4 emeralds, ladies and gentlemen. We missed 3, but it's fine. I mean, the first one was simple, and then the third one was convenient, so there's that. Beautiful. And just like that, I've also proven my point how Knuckles can climb everything. Just like that. Look at that. Can my tongue be any more precise? How convenient. Anyways, back to platforming. For the most part, a lot of these stages do play out the exact same as in the Sonic campaign, but again, it is a nice change. It is a nice change of things, just playing as Knuckles and just breezing through these stages. You could even say when you play as Knuckles, some of these are even short. Like per se, when it comes to stages like Ice Cap or Carnival Night Zone, there's yet again more than acceptable, especially if you want to speedrun a lot of these levels. Just like that. Anyways, I've decided that for once I'm going to play the patient game. I'm not going to climb the wall. That way I didn't suffocate to death. Thank you. It's all for the better, trust me. You definitely want to know how that feels, and don't ask how I know. It's not like it's happened to me about 10 million times already. On camera, too, for that matter. Boy, is that convenient. Anyways, back to running on water. Whoop-de-doo, I guess. Oh, look at that. Thanks, convenience. Happens every time, where at least one of those pillars always blocks me. If you are precise enough, you could technically jump in between the two, but it requires a bit of RNG for that matter. Whether or not it's already at its height, it's already at its peak by the time you get there. Just like that. It's usually this pillar the one that's always bound to stop you. Or at least to cut your momentum. But anyways, if you go this way, the reason you want to go this way is, obviously, a giant ring, and you know what that means, another blue spear stage. How convenient, if I do say so myself. Oh, goody. Anyways, as most of you also noticed, I also like to point out how you don't have to collect rings in these stages. Normally, rings would be an essential aspect when it comes to most of the spell stages, like the ones in Sonic 2. But in this game, they're really just there for the bonus, and that's about it. I mean, you could get them all if you want to get the perfect bonus, and you could get an extra life for that, but again, I decided that I won't be going for those, just for the sake of not making this video more than 20 years long, so I'm doing everyone a favor, and it's for everyone's sake. Please bear with me. Anyways, back to navigation we go. Oh, goody. Oh, just look at it, we even looped that ground. I think I even missed my jump earlier. Just like that, what did I tell you? I officially lost my way. Fantastic. Bring me this way. So here we go again. Already been here. Just like that. All part of my master plan. What did I tell you? This is perfectly fine. Go again. Just a couple more to go and we'll be good to go. Just like that, ladies and gentlemen, that makes up a total of area of 9 blue spheres, and you know what that means. 9 blue spheres, and that is it. Another emerald has once reached our hands. The control emerald, too, for that matter, or in other words, the white chaos emerald, which supposedly controls them all. I'll never get tired of saying the same thing. It's just for the sake of everyone who decides to watch these later in the future and ask themselves about the Sonic lore. For the most part, I am just treating a lot of the live streams as if they were actual separate videos or walkthroughs, to put it that way. And hello to you too, Monsters, right? Nice seeing you here. Playing the Knuckles campaign, as I previously mentioned, and we've just reached Hydro City Zone. It nearly cost us alive in 3 giant rings, but it's fine. We'll make up for it in Marble Garden Zone, trust me. In that stage, there are a stupid amount of giant rings that they're nearly impossible to miss. Just like that. Thank you. Won't be stomach-kicking death today, no thank you. Nice. Could have gone left, but again, or could have jumped to the right there, but again, I'm doing my best to prevent suffocation, so here we go. Back to find our good old friend the Aggro, who's pretty much just assumed the role of Robotnik now. Fantastic. Again, these fights just played just exactly the same for the most part. Though again, they're not as easy to cheese, unfortunately, since again, Knuckles is the different moveset Knuckles has, or the different feel when it comes to controlling him, brings out new challenge and does cut those skips out of the question. You do have to be, for the most part, for a lot of these boss fights, you do have to be a lot more patient. If you haven't unlocked the super characters by this point, that is. Anyways, we're almost there. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. One of my favorite characters. Again, while he does bring out new challenges for the most part, he is more than He is pretty dang enjoyable to control. Again, please forgive me, I apparently can't talk today, and this is already going so well. Anyways. Even right out of the time when it comes to this, to the Hydro City boss alone, just bounce off the block the minute they explode, and then they should give you a boost. Again, that's how physics work, and just like that, physics has done me yet again another favor besides killing me, and has allowed me to destroy the Egg Robo. Thank you. That is Act 2, ladies and gentlemen, and that is another capsule opened up. We're freeing every other Flicky that remained in captivity, or that wasn't even saved by Sonic. We're really trying to restore the population here. And it's pretty much after the plot. When it comes to the plot of Knuckles' campaign and Sonic and Knuckles alone, pretty much after the Egg Robo just attacks Knuckles in Mushroom Hill Zone, Knuckles just decides to chase him down through Angel Island in hopes of getting his revenge. It's funny. It's just pretty funny. You can even say Knuckles himself is just a pretty charming character, if I do say so myself. But anyways, next special stage, just like that. What did I tell you? Didn't miss a single one of them. Either way, when it comes to I'm pretty sure I just soft locked the special stage, but it's fine. As I was saying, when it comes to stages like Marble Garden Zone, they do contain a decent amount of special stages, so they are pretty hard to miss. Could even go as far as saying that getting the emeralds in Sonic and Knuckles, or Sonic the Hedgehog 3 Knuckles, is perhaps, in my opinion, the easiest task there ever was in a Sonic game. Since again, you really don't have to worry about taking damage, and sometimes you're pretty much bound to be running to walls within the next 10 seconds, and then accidentally finding another spiral stage or a giant ring. It just goes to show the creativity and the good level design a lot of these games have. Again, it's just a perfect balance between platforming and speed, if you know what I mean. Beautiful, I accidentally clicked for loose sphere. This is fine. Anyways. Again, when it comes to this final stage, I made a mistake earlier of grabbing all four blue spheres, but when it comes to this stage alone, again, keep what I told you earlier in mind. Only collect half the blue spheres, and only to notify you that you've already been to a specific area, and then come back to them later. It makes navigation a lot easier, and you won't regret it. Trust me. Don't ask how I know. I've got myself killed at least more than 3 times now, and it's embarrassing to talk about. So you definitely don't want to know how that feels. saving that blue sphere for last, which I'm definitely going to regret later. Just you wait, it's gonna be so, its timing's gonna be so convenient. Should be coming right about now. Anyways, oh, would you look at that? I even got myself trapped. Beautiful. What did I tell you? That one mistake I made earlier nearly cost me the special stage right there. Anyways, missing 3 of them. How convenient. What did I tell you? All part of Master Plan, and just like that, another emerald has been acquired. Why, thank you. The red one, to be for that matter. Anyways. Good thing jumping is always an option in platformers. This is a platform after all, so it wouldn't be a true one without jumping now, would it? How convenient. It's even in every special stage in the original Sonic trilogy. From Sonic 1 all the way to the Knuckles campaign in Sonic and Knuckles. Pretty convenient if I do say so myself, but again, that is the plot of every story in a nutshell. Convenience. Indeed. And thankfully, our time's gonna be any better since we're in Marble Garden Zone, and the giant rings are, and there are decent amount of giant rings in this space, and they're pretty easy to find too. At least if you run to walls every 10 seconds or so. Should even be approaching one right about now, if I remember correctly, at least. Going this way. And what did I tell you? What did I say? All part of my master plan. Well, let's get Super Knuckles, shall we? This is the final Emerald. Here we go. Just like that. Again, only go for a perimeter and you should be fine. It makes collecting a lot of these blue spheres a lot easier. Since once you get the perimeter, the game does the work for you and turns the remaining rings into rings. Or the remaining blue spheres into rings, I meant to say. That hardly made any sense, but anyways, it's fine. Oh, no, convenience. Again, jump. Jump to win. Anyways, so we're going this way, for navigation's sake. Nice. Not to mention that, as always, we're not even doing this the intended way, but it's fine. This is my one exception to the rule I made earlier, of not collecting every single ring situated within a path. Anyways, see what the catch is here. There it is. What did I tell you? Jump to win. 15 remain. Easier done than said, ladies and gentlemen. Just like that. What did I tell you? And just like that, that is every emerald in Sonic 3, ladies and gentlemen, as Knuckles at least, and just like that, you know what that means. The super characters have been unlocked, and we can officially break the game to its limits now, without hesitation. Just like that. Like how they even bothered putting in the fact that Knuckles can now be Super Knuckles. Yes. Oh goody, let's break the game, but first, as always, you have to collect 50 rings first, which, done and done. Would you look at that? Can this day get any more convenient for everyone? There we go, you have to watch this one cutscene again. Beautiful. Put it that way. Anyways, here we go again. Oh goody. Anyway, going back to what I was saying earlier, I'm just gonna return to that one obscure topic to yet again give you a bit more development as to a bit more story as to why the Sonic and Knuckles cartridge had a lock-on feature. The reason as to why that came to be is because originally Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Sonic and Knuckles were originally meant to be one game. The only reason why that never came to be was, you guessed it, because of time. Since originally there was meant to be a McDonald's promotion for the release of Sonic 3, so unfortunately they didn't have enough time to implement Knuckles as a playable character in Sonic 3, so as a result they just split the game into two halves, and two cartridges for that matter. The first half would obviously be covering zones ranging from Angel Island to Launch Base, and then the other would be Mushroom Hill to Doomsday Zone, obviously. And the Knuckles campaign as well. Which was pretty much the reason as to why the Sonic and Knuckles cartridge had a lock-on feature, since once you pretty much just plugged it into the Sonic 3 cartridge, you could pretty much just play the game as originally intended. Playing the two packages in one as a whole. Nice. Well, since we can't go that way, looks like we're going back down. I think I just made another mistake. Whoopie-doo, I guess. Welcome to Marble Zone again. Jumping is one of them. It's in my opinion the most critical aspect when it comes to platforming. But anyways, it's fine. Go up. Because always, why yet again? Knuckles has the ability to climb, and just like that, what did I tell you? Every 10 seconds for every second you spend in Mushroom Hill in Marble Garden Zone, you pretty much just run into a giant ring without question. Convenience, am I right? Anyways. Here we go. Let's use Super Knuckles, shall we? The only reason as to why I didn't use him earlier was yet again for the sake of not suffocating to death within 10 seconds of using him. It looks like we're going back up, or the other way I meant to say. Like that. They even changed the super character theme. Originally it was just you just played the title screen, the title theme, but they just added an additional base to it, if you know what I mean. But anyways, just like that, 3-4 minutes later, and we made it to the mini-boss. Took us long enough, but anyways. So you can see, yet again, since Knuckles can't jump as high, they implemented a few more aspects to make these fights a lot more interesting. One of those being this one platform from earlier. But then, just like every other mini-boss, they die in less than 10 seconds, so there it is. That's Marble Garden Act 1, if I do say so myself, it is, man. Gotta love that Knuckles animation. Unforgettable, if I do say so myself. Anyways, Act 2, here we go again. We went from 100 rings to 0, since that's how level transition works, apparently. Again, balancing, am I right? But with that out of the way, here we go. Game's going to go back to teasing us, since again this is Marble Garden, so there it is. The one zone that's pretty much known for teasing, that is in my opinion, in my experience at least, most remembered for pretty much just teasing you. Since every time you see a mini boss, you get the feeling you're gonna have to fight, and then in the end you never fight him. You have to wait until. You don't fight until later down, until you progress throughout the level. A bit more, at least. Anyways, looks like we're going up, since we conveniently lost the platform right as we were about to break that thing. What did I tell you? Again, convenience. I'm just gonna kill these grasshoppers, thank you. This is 100% sufficient right now, and boy, is this coming along. But anyways. Here we go. You know the good old saying, patience is key after all, so here we go. Never mind, I guess we can't break that platform. I wish I could, but the thing is, in the Sonic and Knuckles cartridge, you don't fight either. At least in the Act 2 for Carnival Night Zone, you don't fight the egg robo. It just absolutely just cuts to the capsule itself. So there isn't a boss sequence, unfortunately. It would be funny if there was, though. I do want to make a video showcasing that and trying to explain the glitch a bit more in depth, if you know what I mean. Anyways, looks like from the look of things, it looks like we're going to be spending about 10 years in Marble Garden Zone, so I apparently can't navigate my way through a simple platform, but it's fine. It only took us about 2 minutes of not making any process, and we made it, This is fine. Definitely. Well, here we go. Good thing you haven't been here before, or else you would have had to play throughout most of the level again. This level loops a bit, for that matter, too. Beautiful, we're back here now. Actually, no, this is the first time we've been here. Again, a lot of the areas in Marble Garden Zone look pretty identical. To be fair, they did just reuse a lot of assets just for the sake of saving time, which again was key when it came to the development of a lot of these games. Since again, the promotions somewhat got in the way, so they have to finish development really quickly. So. Most part, that meant just taking any precautions necessary to ensure the game was finished by by summer at least. I don't remember exactly when Sonic 3 was released. I know it was supposed to be Groundhog Day, but that's about it. I don't remember the exact date. It was in 1994 though. I do know it was in 1994 though. So that's something. But just like that, this one live stream just went from being a live stream to just me just going into in depth about the development history and about the lore of a lot of these games. Speaking of which, I've hardly really gotten a chance to talk about it all that much, since again, the Knuckles campaign is pretty straightforward, and to be fair, it's really just about constantly chasing after the egg robot, and that's just about it. Anyway, back to climbing we go, since we can't destroy that one platform, since again, we're not Sonic, so we can't jump as high. Guess you could pretty much just call Knuckles the Toad of Sonic, where he pretty much has both decent strength and speed, but he can't jump high. Just like that, what'd I tell you? Yes, Knuckles again really just has two downsides, which again pretty much decently changed the format of the game a lot. Anyways, back to destroying whatever the heck this is supposed to be. Oh no. Well, glad that's over, then back to climbing we go, since we might as well even show off some of Knuckles' abilities, since again, we're not playing as Sonic, so here we go. Nice. And as always, I'm yet again running out of things to say here, I apologize. You know, once again, Angeline can never catch a break from absolutely falling into ruins by every bad egg that comes into contact with it. Just like that. First destruction of jungles in Angel Island Zone, and now the destruction of the architecture in Marble Garden Zone. This goes really deep too, you know. Anyways, here we go again. Got to land my first hit on that one enemy, and that nearly cost my death. But just like that, we made it out of it alive. We're fine, thankfully. It's even coming a lot choppier than my practice run, since for once I actually even bothered making a practice run before this. Thanks to all the more convincing, this is how it usually goes. I usually just end up doing so well in my practice run, making it somewhat iffy, and then when we have to play this game itself for the recording, it just comes out like this. Again, convenience, ladies and gentlemen, if I do say so myself. But here we go. Thank you. And as most of you noticed, the zone boss of Marble Garden Zone plays it a lot more differently. Or at least that goes for a lot of these bosses. Again, we're not playing as Sonic, and Tails isn't here to rescue us, and since Knuckles can't fly either, there's that. Just reduce to that. That is Act 2, ladies and gentlemen, and on the Carnival Night we go, everyone's favorite zone. And we'll also give you some more development history on this game. Starting right about now. Again, the music's been changed, or altered I should say. So yet again, originally the soundtrack for Sonic 3 was composed by none other than Michael Jackson. Again, sound familiar? Well, it was composed by him, but unfortunately, again, he tragically died a while ago, and because of that, copyright became a thing, and a lot of these and the soundtrack for this game had to be changed. Which, fun fact, the soundtrack you're hearing right now was originally the one from the beta soundtrack. For those of you who were wondering, but I will admit it's just not the same. It is fine. It is fine. Well, it makes it look like we're nothing more than a puzzle game, which I guess would fit the style of Carnival Night Act 1 at least. Again, it just doesn't get that same vibe. And just like that, I killed myself. Yeah, definitely agree with you. As always, commentating has gotten me killed for the 1 millionth time as always. I still haven't learned my lesson, and boy, is that critical. As always. Just like that. Even Knuckles' one ability got himself killed there. Since for whatever reason, if you accidentally end up grabbing a ledge, but at the same time you land on the platform, that cancels the climbing ability for Knuckles, and in the end, the game can't decide whether you're on the ground or not, and just assumes you've fallen off. So you just fall off, and you don't grab the platform, unfortunately. So that happens. But anyways, it wouldn't be a video without suffocation, now would it? I was trying to prevent that after all. So here we go. So there it is. I meant to say. I can no longer be avoided at this point. We'll take the ring though. Thank you. We are approaching the mini boss too. Because again, in my opinion, a lot of these acts are a lot shorter than their Sonic 3 counterpart. Don't believe me? Here we are. Again, thanks to Knuckles' ability to just break through walls using all his muscle power, he made it to the boss in 1 minute and 30 seconds. It only took us dying twice, but it's fine. Either way, no one obviously saw that, so we're fine. There it is, guys, in less than 10 seconds. One of them are afraid of mini-bosses too. Since this is the one mini-boss you can't actually hurt, you have to let him attack himself, as always. That's just pretty much how the robotic contraptions of Sonic 3. They just kill themselves half the time, or you have to use their weapons against them. But anyways, that is Act 1, ladies and gentlemen, and on to Act 2 we go. And boy, in this one act, the music has never felt so out of place. The only reason as to why it ever felt somewhat fitting in Act 1 was again because of the mini-boss, since I guess it could somewhat give a Tetris vibe. But in Act 2, it just doesn't do that, since again, this is supposed to be a carnival, and it's supposed to have like a circus kind of vibe to it, so it's just not the same. I would love to try that again, but again, since we're playing as Knuckles, we can't pull it off, since, oh wow, there it is, suffocation again. Convenient, since, as I was saying before, since we're playing as Knuckles, we can't pull the glitch off. Since by the time we get to the end of the level, we're only gonna encounter a flicky castle and there's no boss, unfortunately, so we can't pull the glitch off. That is one glitch exclusive to the Sonic campaign, to put it that way. Anyway, since we're playing as Knuckles again, since we're playing as our boy Knuckles here, again, we have to really reduce the amount of speed we put into a lot of these levels, since again, suffocation is a thing here, so you want to be on the lookout for that. Just like that. We're really playing it safe here, since I don't want to suffocate. I don't want to suffocate it yet again for the 1 millionth time, and then spend half the video trying to get through one obstacle alone. We're almost there. Back to Donkey Kong Country Go any day now. Please do me a favor here, will you? Even how Knuckles' animation you see even stuck there. Cool, what you can do if you end up taking damage, then the animation's not gonna unload. Exactly what's happening. Every time you enter a cannon or something like it, really, you just curl up into the spin nets, and you really just stay there, and the game just really just keeps you in place. Since by the time you hit the button to launch the cannon, it just shoots it out, since you're really just in the wall. But anyway, just like that, no boss, or no egg robot, since I guess that was the one robotic contraption that was apparently destroyed for good, so... There you have it. That even shows the amount of shortcuts Knuckles can even take in Angel Island Zone. In Angel Island, at least, I meant to say. Anyways, Ice Cap, and boy, here's another soundtrack that dramatically changed. I could say this one's a bit more bearable than the one used for Carnival Night, but again, it's just not the same. I know, you basically just described it in one sentence, Monster Side. The egg robot didn't even bother showing up, and we just concluded the act like that. No glitch was here this time, thanks to the castle was conveniently located right before what was supposed to be originally be the boss room. And again, since we're playing as Knuckles here, Ice Cap Zone doesn't take as long to beat. Since again, he can apparently just run through walls. Since again, his muscle power is both beneficial and can be both beneficial and can both give you a disadvantage. Just like that. Didn't even need a specific boulder for that. Which means you won't be looping as often. So I guess that's one pro of playing as Knuckles in Ice Cap Zone. Just like that. Also makes it feel less like Labyrinth Zone too, since you're not looping as much. Anyways, here we go again. Oh goody. Thank you, gotta love the animations, as always. Anyways, back to climbing we go. Oh goody. Just gotta make sure I don't suffocate death in the most inconvenient way possible, as always, and we should be there in no time. And that, as always, being the keyword. And I'll never get tired of saying so, since at this point I have nothing else to really say. What did I tell you? Anyways, you've hardly even gotten a good second to access the super character, since I take damage every 5 seconds or less, so... Unless you find a giant ring, that's unfortunately not going to change, and it looks like you can't go that way. So again, we have to use Knuckles' muscle power to just get us through here. And just like that, we pretty much just reached the mini-boss by now. You don't even need the rings, which I'm definitely going to regret in less than 10 seconds of fighting this thing, so here we go. At least this mini-boss actually bothered putting a fight, unlike the previous one, in Carnival Night at least. Hands down, by far the most intense boss we've ever seen. Just a flicky capsule and that's it. Just like last time, no, we didn't have to fight Robotnik. We just had to press we just had to press open the flicky capsule, and then that was it. Beautiful, thank you. Ice Cap Act 1, beautiful. Indeed. Here we go again. Any day now, oh goody. Beautiful, and I even missed my timing, unsurprisingly. But it's fine, since we're playing as Knuckles the Echidna himself, we can just climb. Most of these obstacles are just optional to even bypass. Just be careful not to fall to your death, since again, Knuckles has very poor recovery, since he can't jump too high. See, just like that, what am I telling? And as always, he still takes knockback, and I died in the most inconvenient way possible again. Top-notch level design, am I right? Anyways. Let's see if I can actually pull the glitch out this time, thank you. Here we go again. Never before have I struggled so much in a Sonic game. Since last year at least, so that's a record. Oh, here we go again, any day now. Well, hey, at least I didn't fall the other way around. And again, knockback is pretty much another thing that's guaranteed to kill you. Since that's apparently a thing in Sonic games, so there you have it, physics for you. Okay, so here we go again. Pretty much supposed to go this way either way, so don't have much of an option here. Going down. Though it is cool seeing the different paths exclusive to Knuckles again. Makes this campaign all the more unique, if I do say so myself. Now I feel like I'm playing Shovel Knight again, for obvious reasons, and just like that, commentating has gotten me killed once more since I've lost my focus apparently. So here we go, back from square one. You have to take it from the top now. Beautiful. I know. Ice Cap Zone is really just putting a good fight right about now. What's normally meant to be Green Hell 3.0 has now just turned into this. There we go. Again, I could say the Ice Cap Zone for the Knuckles campaign isn't the most beginner-friendly zone there ever was, but again, the additional layer of challenge is more than appreciated. So here we go again. Now I just got to not get myself killed for the 1 millionth time. Just like that. What did I say? Any day now, please. No thank you. Nice. All part of my master plan, what did I tell you? This is fine. Okay, so definitely want to avoid the robotic motors. If you end up opening those, you'll take damage, so you definitely don't want that. I was supposed to hold left, never mind. Beautiful, thank you. Ring's just really pointing out the obvious here, thank you. Just like how you even made it to the surface, it's pretty neat how it just just shows us completely exiting the one cave we were just in to just completely return back to the surface and then just playing the remaining part of the level normally. As if we were Sonic himself, too. Beautiful. Missed time my jump right there. And would you look at that? 65, you know what that means. Boy, I haven't seen Super Knuckles in a good year or two, so here we go. Oh, goody. Well, at least the aggro actually bothered putting up a fight this time, rather than just leaving the capsule on guard. But anyways, welcome to Sonic and Knuckles. This is every boss in a nutshell. Do this to the Super Critters, and you'll be good to go in no time. And that is Act 2, ladies and gentlemen, just like that. Why, thank you very much. I pathetically couldn't even perform the glitch there if I didn't stop holding right, but it's fine. Since to be fair, that is really just the glitch itself. Since the way collision just works in the Sonic games is a bit weird. Since really everything on screen or in the camera is just considered by the game just loaded, while everything that's off camera is for the most part unloaded. So, our high velocity just outran the pacing of the camera itself, which meant that by the time we got to the capsule, the game didn't have enough time to just load the invisible wall, just blocking us from getting to the capsule, and then we just conveniently happened to just land to just load part of it, which is just more than enough to allow us to even press it. How convenient. I guess you could say that's how pretty much it works, just for the sake of saving data. That's blast processing for you, for that matter, since again, this was a game on the Genesis. Anyways, here we go. Thank you. Nice. Back to inconvenience we go. Why, thank you very much. Not today, thank you. And just like that, Sonic can never hit the monitor, since the spring for whatever reason has a much larger hitbox than the monitor itself, which hypothetically does make sense. But to be fair, we were a lot closer to the monitor than we were to the spring itself. But again, since Knuckles has a larger hitbox, that happens. So there's that for you. Here we go again. Oh goody. Once closer to the final boss too, since again, this takes place. I also like how we even have to traverse launch phase zone again. Speaking of which, since the death is no longer there, since we already destroyed that, and we destroyed that previously in the Sonic campaign. Well, it is pretty cool seeing most of the reused assets just altered differently for that matter, just to accommodate for the gameplay given my Knuckles. Pretty cool if I do say so myself, but anyways, here we go. Nice. Just like that, we have suffocated to death for the 1 millionth time, and you have to play half the level again, since that's how physics works yet again. It's the result of two walls pushing us out while trying to make collision a thing, which ultimately just results in our death because of suffocation. So there you have it. Any minute now. Intense, am I right? Anyways, here we go. So to be fair, this is really making for high quality gameplay right now. If I do, oh, would you look at that? And I just like that, the wall wasn't even coming down. It was just going up, and I so suffocated to death. Since again, just in case for those of you who still don't believe me when I mention that Knuckles has a larger hitbox. That larger hitbox is almost guaranteed to always result in suffocation. So again, the same thing happened. That's while the wall was moving away from collision, the game just assumed we were inside the wall. So just playing the death animation, since again suffocation was a thing, since Knuckles had a much larger hitbox. So there you have it. That's just about how physics works in video games, I guess, or in Sonic for that matter. Whether you're playing as Sonic, Knuckles, or even Tails. I barely avoided death right there. Thank you. Took us long enough, a good 2 minutes and 30 seconds. any minute now, thank you. Oh boy. Go back up. I should also probably mention that yet again, Launch Base 1 was, as most of you could probably tell, was also composed by Michael Jackson, given by the altered soundtrack. Yet again, just makes it seem like a military base than anything else, given by the mood it gives. But anyways, we pretty much reached the boss by now. It took us a good 5 minutes or so, thanks to our good old friend Suffocation, but it's fine. So, press the building and survive too. Actually, what I wanted to say there was, I even like how the building was just asking you to climb it, since again, Knuckles just bombed that thing during the Sonic campaign. So there's that. Staying true with the story, which I definitely like. You'll see that in Sandopolis 2 later on, when we encounter the ghosts again. Anyways, remember how I said earlier how they dramatically alter the bosses in the Sonic campaigns? Where for whatever reason, if you're playing as Knuckles, you do have to fight the two mini bosses at the same time as originally intended. It's pretty weird since you were originally supposed to do the same as Sonic, but oh well. The Knuckles campaign was supposed to be quote unquote harder than the Sonic campaign, so there's that. There's that going for it. Go again, and yet again, the music feels so out of place. When it comes to the new, I could even go as far as saying that when it comes to the new soundtracks alone, really only the sound composed for the first act really just fits the theme, and then the ones for the second act just go way off topic, in my opinion. Okay, so here we go again. So we're technically meant to be underground right now. Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. I finally killed the Batnik. So we're going down. My favorite. And speaking of which, back to water levels we go. Oh goody, my favorite. Supposedly, this was supposed to be Robotnik's attempt to control the floor of yet again the one leg port of the Batnik was supposedly did crash on just to relaunch it back into orbit. Pretty convenient if I do say so myself, and I guess we grabbed the shield for nothing since we lost it within less than 10 seconds as always, so here we go again. To be fair, it would have made much of a difference either, since again, if you either have the fire elemental shield or the electric elemental shield, if you end up touching or going into water, you pretty much just lose the effect altogether. We're going right as always. There's the golden rule. The golden rule of platforming. Always go to the right. Will that ever get old? And I'm gonna stay true to that rule for now. And yet again, for the sake of doing things somewhat the intended way, for once too. So we're going down. Thank you. Welcome to Labyrinth Zone, the sequel, or the third part, I should say. Actually, it feels a lot more like Hydro City. Yet again, it has a good balance between speed and platforming, so there's that going for it. Anyways, back to climbing go, my favorite, since yet again, Knuckles can't swim. Tails is apparently the only one who actually has the ability to swim. He is a fox after all, so you gotta give him that. And it looks like I'm all around. Fantastic. Thanks, game. Just like that, what did I tell you? Rest in peace, Knuckles, you'll be missed. Right as I was about to enter the service too, would you look at that? What an absolute coincidence. Anyways, we have to do this all over again. I hope you're not tired of seeing me die every 10 seconds or so, but hey, on the bright side, at least you're finding it somewhat entertaining for that matter. We even skipped half the level, thank you. At this point, we might as well, since from here on out, it's just pretty straight. The level design is just pretty straightforward. God, I could even grab this again. Just goes to show the absolute convenience when I miss things and when I don't. Since every time when I always get curious and bother exploring, there's always nothing. But the one time where I actually do wanna breeze through levels, I always end up missing like 3 things. That's Sonic for you. Beautiful. Again, the convenience in these games. Just so remarkable. Just like that. Again, the fact that Knuckles can't jump as high as Sonic is critical. And I believe that's about the 1 millionth time I've gotten the opportunity to prove my point. Just like that, we finally reached the service. I'm not going to bother watching that animation, since pretty much seen that a decent amount of times, and even saw it last time, too. Anyways, here we go again. Yet again, breaking our way, just breezing our way through launch phase, don't even, despite despite the Death Egg's absence, since, again, it's destroyed. And the only thing ever waiting for us within the top is none other than the Egg Robo himself, who is actually going to bother putting up a good fight. For once, too. So here we go again, and just like that, conveniently, we don't even have 50 rings, so we have to do this the Nintendo way, unfortunately. We have to fight both the Beam Rocket and Big Arms again. Both of which will fight the Nintendo way for once, too. Anyways, here we go. Beautiful. Got hit by that one convenient obstacle just circling around him. As always, too. Let's look at that. My precision is just on point today. What did I tell you? Just like that. I would really appreciate if Knuckles could jump right about as high as Sonic right about now. Would make this boss a lot quicker to kill. Thank you. First try, what did I tell you? It only took us about a minute or so, but it's fine. Perfectly worth it if I do say so myself, and just like that, here we go, we have to fight Big Arm again. My favorite. To be fair, I could go as far as saying that Big Arm is probably, in my opinion, the only boss in Sonic 3 that actually puts up a good fight. Since, yet again, he can do the impossible and actually hurt the super characters. For whatever reason. It's a shame we never got to see that throughout every other boss. For the sake of balancing yet again. Well, I do love me a good challenge, so here we go again. Fantastic. Any day now. I would really appreciate if you'd come down. Thank you. What did I tell you? Convenience yet again strikes back. Fantastic. Anyways, any day now. Just a few hits away from Mushroom Hill Zone, and we can finally be granted access to the hyper characters, just like that. What did I tell you, ladies and gentlemen? All part of my master plan. Anyways, let's open this capsule up, which we apparently missed in Launch Phase Zone, since we really didn't want to abandon any flickies, now would we? That is Act 2, and on to Mushroom Hill Zone. We're really just saying true to the Sonic 3 and Knuckles level design. And just like that, there it is. The Egg Roll will once again attacks us once more, and just like that, rest in peace Launch Phase Zone, as the zone's pretty much nuked by now. Anyways, Mushroom Hill Act 1. Here's where things really start to get interesting. And look at that. It's rare you see things like that ever happen. Going to the right and immediately finding a giant ring within the first 5 seconds of the level. Though to be fair, it was for the sake of implementing this one cutscene, so there's that going for it. And just like last time, here we go again. Rinse and repeat what we just said. We gotta find some more giant rings, and we gotta beat some more Blue Spear State, just to pretty much recover the Super Emeralds, to put it that way. It's pretty much the exact same. If you do get all the Super Emeralds, though, then congratulations, you'll have access to the hybrid characters now, which will break the game even further down the line. To be fair, Knuckles' hybrid form controls pretty identical to his super form. I'm pretty sure the only major difference being the fact that he can just run and climb faster, and glide faster, I meant to say. It can run, glide, climb, and climb faster, yeah. And jump slightly higher too, if I remember correctly. Pretty cool. But there's that in case you want to yet again destroy the level, break the game to its absolute limit, which is yet again more than appreciated. Beautiful. The game didn't register my input, and just like that, here we go again. This is just a blooper reel right now. And there's gonna be a decent amount of cuts within the video. Fantastic. Despite me never even editing the final product of these things. Anyways, here we go. Just gotta bear with it. Beautiful. You have to go up. I'm gonna spend about 10 years here, but it's fine. Music's pretty memorable though. It really does motivate you. Anyways, here we go again. Again, for this special stage alone, just be careful not to spend too much time within the special stage itself, since again, the longer you spend within a special stage, the faster you end up going. So you do want to make sure you grab the blue spirits as quickly as possible, or as soon as possible. I meant to say. Thank you. And just like that, first try, obviously, ladies and gentlemen, we have officially acquired our first Super Emerald, just like that. The signed one, for that matter. Only 6 more remain, and then we can officially destroy the game once more. So yet again, exit Hidden Pal Zone. Unfortunately, we can't skip to that part. Unfortunately, we can't skip that far ahead. Would have been funny though. So to be fair, it is understandable also why you can do that, since we would skip a decent amount the remaining part of Sonic and Knuckles. So here we go again. Back to Mushroom Hills. Let me go. While we're here, I also might as well point out how the levels play out exactly the same as they do in Sonic and Knuckles, and the Sonic campaign at least. Sure, Knuckles does have his own exclusive area for him to play around in, but if you do end up taking the right path, you will end up in the path originally intended for Sonic. So it makes grabbing the giant ranks a lot easier. Nice. Well, here we go again. Oh goody. Going this way, and just like that, convenience strikes back. Thank you. And just like that, we're back. We're back to the Sonic part of the level, explored that way. That made absolutely no sense, and I still can't talk. Please forgive my awful commentary, but it's fine. My grammar, I meant to say. Again, I can't talk. I'm sorry. I was doing so well for 2 to 3 videos, and now this happened. But anyways, assuming you go this way, you should reach the next giant ring in no time. And then from here now, you could just grab the other giant rings in Mushroom Hill Zone. For both Acts 1 and 2, if you rinse and repeat this process. You just gotta make sure you end up in the Sonic part of the level, and then from there on out, you should be good to go. Especially if you're really familiar with a lot of these stages, or the levels themselves, I meant to say. Anyways, going this way. Here we go. Going up. Nice. Here we go again. Nice. Again, jumping's always an option if you don't feel like navigating right. Always perfectly more than acceptable. And just like that is the special stage, ladies and gentlemen. Could even say the Super Emerald Blue Spirit stages are a lot shorter than the ones for the other Chaos Emeralds, especially if you know what you're doing. But anyways, just like that, we've recovered the White Emerald, the White Super Emerald, which supposedly controls all of them. And for whatever reason they never even bothered giving it an actual sprite for the Blue Spirit. It just uses the indigo one, but it's not. It's pretty misleading and inaccurate at times. But there it is, just in case you didn't believe me. There's the White Emerald. Although it clearly looked like the indigo one. A mistake on the developer's behalf, but oh well. Again, this game was somewhat rushed, so kind of. I guess the development team was pretty much split into 2 halves, for that matter. But anyways, from here on out, it's pretty much just the same thing. Just the same Mushroom Hill we all know and love. You just navigate your way to the next giant ring, and you should be good to go. Hopefully. There we go again. Oh, goody. Oh, just that. How convenient. Again. Just my on-point precision right there. Thank you. Not today. Looks like we're going down. Nice. Pretty sure you missed a generator. Hang on, give me a sec. This is fine. You go again. Beautiful. I have a good feeling we did, but it's fine. To be fair, there are a lot more giant rings than if you're in Mushroom Hill Zone Act 1 if you're playing as Knuckles. Because again, you can take paths that are exclusive. There are paths that are exclusive to him, so you might as well take use that to your own benefit, at least when it comes to getting the emeralds. Which I'm trying to do, especially since we won 100% this game, since we didn't do that last time. Again, the purpose of the majority of these playthroughs. Anyways, going down. Oh, Gillette, how convenient, thank you. Oh, goody. Pretty sure we were going the right way for about 10 seconds, and then I started tugging, and just like that, I lost track of where it was. Perfect timing if I do say so myself, ladies and gentlemen, but here we go. My practice one was actually going well, and then it just turned to this. Beautiful. Oh, here we go again. Oh, goody. Thank you. We'll take the extra life. Why, thank you very much. Any day now. Please bear with me. Going this way, I guess. Oh, goody. Pretty sure you missed something up there. Please. Well, here we go. We're about to spend another 12 years looking for one giant ring, as always. Beautiful. This is going so well already. Fantastic. We'll go to spin that's not is an option, so here we go. Beautiful. Physics. Please bear with me. We're about to spend 12 years here, but it's gonna pay off. Trust me. Any day now. Well, that's already a good sign. We haven't even found another giant ring. It just never mind. We did. Thank you. All perfectly part of my plan. It was all. This all definitely went accordingly. 100%. What did I tell you? It's all perfectly fine. And yet again, for the sake of time, we're not gonna get the perfect bonus. Please bear with me. Anyways, here we go. Nice. So we're going that way. Thank you. Just like that. And conveniently, 6 will remain, which just so happen to be right ahead of us. Just like that. What did I tell you? Efficiency, yes, one proven itself to be a thing within one of my playthroughs. Thank you. Convenience strikes back once more, if I do say so myself, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, here we go again. Oh, goody. No, 4 more remain. With 3 out of the question. Thank you. Any day now. Well, there it is. The right side, that's magenta emerald for you. Any minute now. I'm gonna go up for the sake of exploration, since this is pretty much the spell sequence in a nutshell. The age of exploration, and that's about it. Might as well take the lift too. Well, here we go. I have 134 rings. That's a record. At least with Knuckles, that is. Thank you. I'm glad he missed. Never mind. Looks like this is as far as you can go. Beautiful. That's convenient. We're going this way. I'm beautiful. Actually, no, never mind. That's a lie. I missed a lot of giant rings. Oh boy. Really is that time of the day again. Let me have to backtrack. Beautiful. If the game ever lets me, since again, convenience has just proven to me once again an obstacle. So here we go. Any day now, please. Thank you. So you wanna jump off right here, and there's conveniently another giant ring over here. If you can ever get to it, if the game allows you to, which doesn't look like the case in my experience here. But anyways, it's fine. What did I tell you? All part of my plan. Well, back to blue spear hunting. We missed one giant ring, but it's fine. We'll make up for it in Mushroom Hill Act 2, trust me. There are a lot more giant rings there, and I'm not gonna backtrack for the sake of yet again not making this playthrough more than 20 years long. For this blue spear stage, for this blue spear stage alone, I recommend just keeping track of the direction the direction you're currently going in. That way you don't end up back to where you once were. Just like that, what did I tell you? 17 remain, how convenient. Any day now. And we're back here, beautiful. Oh goody. Well, that hardly went anywhere. Anyways. You have to go this way. Just like that, what did I tell you? Each day now. Nice. Beautiful, four more remain. And just like that, how convenient, again. Convenience can go both ways, again. There it is. Both are beneficial and both for being an obstacle. Beautiful. Thank you. Gladly take my next Super Emerald. Why, thank you very much. Now only 3 more remain, and 4 are now out of the question. What a coincidence. Or what a convenience, I meant to say. But anyways. This is fine. Well, back to Act 1 we go. Oh, goody. Not to mention that we're literally 2 meters away from the boss, but it's fine. There it is. We have to fight it. We have to fight this thing again. Here we go. Oh goody. Fun fact: this boss alone even has a reference to another Sega game. I forgot what it was called, but it's pretty obvious to note. It's pretty cool seeing it too. Anyways, just like every other mini boss, this boss really only gets to show off only one move, and that's about it. Kill him in the next 2 seconds or less. Hello to you too, Kate. Well, hello to you too, Kate. Nice seeing you here. Beautiful. You might as well get everyone here while we're at it. This is pretty much for the purpose of entertainment, so there's that going for it. You know the good old saying, laughter gives you life, so here we go. In this case, you want to go up. In case you couldn't tell, since that's usually... Since normally, if you were playing as Sonic, you would go that way, but since you're playing as Knuckles, you're going down. We all even got to see that one switch Knuckles nearly broke when he was trying to send Sonic to the other half of Mushroom Hill Zone. And just like that, and just like last time, I have to say, with 39 seconds or so, the season has changed. Boy, is that convenient? Is that a coincidence? It's fall now, so here we go. Though I'll say the changed color palette is pretty cool to see. Just makes the level stand out all the more. This was a pretty creative level too, for that matter. Nice. I just fell on enemy, and that resulted in me taking damage as always. Thank you. Anyways, we're going up. So again, when it comes to the Knuckles campaign, Every time you take a path exclusive to Knuckles, you always want to get back to the main path. How I call it, as quick as possible. If you want to get the giant rings at least. Speaking of which, there it is. What did I tell you? All perfectly part of Master Plan and all going accordingly. And normally in Mushroom Hill Act 1, there are only 4 stages, 4 giant rings if you're playing as Sonic. But if you're playing as Knuckles, that one ring from early, the first ring from the beginning actually turns that into 5 rings. So there's that. Well, in Mushroom Hill Act 2, there are 4 rings, I believe. But anyhow, to be fair, really, if you're playing the Sonic Origins release of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, you really just have to keep the giant ring locations of Angel Island, Hydro City, Marble Garden Zone, and Mushroom Hill Zone. Since by the time you clear those zones, you pretty much should have the super or hybrid characters unlocked. Speaking of the super characters, fun fact: if you don't feel like going through all this, don't worry. This is all perfectly optional. You can always breeze through the game as Super Knuckles if you don't feel like getting the emeralds, or as Super Sonic too. But I'm doing so since last time. That's pretty much what happened, and I regret nearly every part of it. Anyways, here we go again. Oh goody. Thank you. One enemy that was so remarkable that even came back in Studiopolis in Sonic Mania. How remarkable if I do say so myself, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, here we go. Back to platforming perils. And just like that, speaking of which, that is another special stage in the bag, if I do say so myself. Beautiful. Only one more giant ring remains, and just like that, Knuckles has greeted us with his flying animation, and the special stage has loaded. And begun too, for that matter. And since I'm also running out of things to say here, for the sake of making this a lot more interesting, I might also explain a bit. I might even touch a bit on how most of the special stages even work. Since, as most of you could probably tell, the special stages in Sonic 3 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles and in Sonic 2 use a neat trick called layering, which pretty much revolves around animating one object and then just loading a few more objects and then putting it on top of that object and creating a new layer on top of it. Which again just gives us the illusion that you're really running on an open 3D space, which isn't actually what's going on, since the planet you're running on has its own animation. It just makes it look like you're running on it because its only animation is to go forward and backward, so. And to rotate, and to obviously rotate depending on which direction you're going. Which gives it the illusion that you're actually running on a planet after all. Though if that were the case, then the cards would hardly be powerful enough to even contain a special stage, to even contain such a special stage. Since again, with too many things on screen right now, so use the same trick they used back to animate the airship sequence in Angel Island and the chase with Robotnik in the jungle at least. Well, by the looks of things, looks like we're going this way, and just like that, I believe we have officially reached the next battle stage. What did I say? Perfectly part of my master plan. We may or may not have had some ups and downs throughout the beginning, and especially in Launch Base and Ice Cap Zone and in Carnival Night, but it's fine. All perfectly going according to plan, and besides, no one clearly saw that. Unless you replayed the video and bothered watching those sections. But to be fair, if he did, then that is dedication right there. What a coincidence. Anyways, more fourth wall breaks out of the way, and some more, and with more details on how most of this game even works. Back to collecting blue spheres, shall we? So here we go. So we're going this way. Again, in my opinion, this is in my opinion the easiest blue sphere stage there ever is. Just every time you get to a new area, to put it that way, just always go for the opening. Don't go towards the yellow spheres. Just go towards just go to the area where there doesn't seem to be anything, and then just get the blue spheres there. Only get the perimeter though. Don't get the area itself. And so you don't want to spend 20 years getting 2 more blue spheres. Which, speaking of which, just like that, the game has yet again done us another favor, and that is it. The red emerald has been acquired, and you know what that means? It's time for Indeed to break the game as Hyper Knuckles, as all the Super Emeralds have once again been reactivated for the second time now. Keep that in mind. Pretty cool if I do say so myself. And it's not that I think about it. For whatever reason, in Mania, they were for whatever reason not activated. Which I guess kind of explains the absence of Hypersonic in every other Sonic game. I guess after a while, the Hyper Emeralds eventually just ran out of energy and just went back to being stones, and then the Chaos Emeralds again just went back to just scattered throughout the islands to just find a new resting spot. With that being the spell stage, which Robotnik would eventually find and then send his UFOs to yet again do him another favor too. Which then leads us into the ends of Sonic Mania. Pretty cool if I do say so myself. Again, just shows the connection between each zone and the progression robotics been making in each and every one of these. Oh, and speaking of which, here we go. Look at that. There's the one weather machine we were supposed to destroy earlier, and who was supposedly just changing every season. Beautiful. But anyway, it's good old 1994, so the internet's not a thing, so get out of here. Rest in peace. If we had 50 rings, we could technically cheese this boss, but again, the game convenience didn't feel like doing so, so we're stuck at Snuggles for now, unfortunately. Anyways, here we go again. Beautiful. Just a bit more precise timing later, and we're nearly there. Beautiful. What did I tell you? It's all most of these animations getting played out. There it is. Proves that even a tree is capable of stopping robotics contraptions themselves, and he literally just crashed into one. Note to self, that's why you never drive backwards, ladies and gentlemen. Do keep that in mind. You definitely don't want to mess up the driver's test. Anyway, this got off topic really quick, and just like that, we're going to Flying Battery. The one zone we were supposed to see way earlier back in Angel Island, but since we weren't playing a Sonic, that never came to be. And speaking of Flying Batteries appearances, fun fact: originally this game was supposed to take place right before Ice Cap Zone instead of Carnival Light Zone, since that snowboard Sonic was supposedly used to snowboard down the mountain. It was actually originally meant to be some debris from the airship. Fun fact. This goes to show how the zones were originally meant to play out as a whole. Maybe they weren't divided into 2 games at least. Oh, here we go again. I guess this is quote-unquote the end of the Death Egg saga for that matter. Why, thank you, Godnix. I'm glad you enjoyed my playthrough. So I'll see you tomorrow indeed. Or the next or in my next live stream, I should say. Do take care. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Your support is yet, as always, more than appreciated. And I, as always, appreciate everyone who's been bearing with me for this long. Thank you. We're almost there. It's yet again just a matter of playing the patient game as always. Everyone's favorite game in Sonic, of course. Anyways, here we go. Gonna use Hyper Knuckles before I lose him to the most inconveniently placed obstacle in history. So, speaking of which, here we are. 2 missiles right there. Beautiful. Thank you, I'll see you next time. Do take care. Well, here we go again. We conveniently have 71 rings, and we can pretty much just abuse the hybrid characters for Hearts content. Isn't that just lovely if I do say so myself with this one? Back to Genocide City we go. Oh goody. This is Undertale now. Fantastic. Nice. And you're meant to go up. Never mind, I made a mistake. Beautiful. And just like that, it convenes as it once more cut me off. Beautiful. And so originally, if you kept going higher, you would have ran into a special stage at least, or a giant ring. And for whatever reason, I thought you could push that spike. So this one actually, which conveniently, even when you get the special stage, it shoots you off in this exact location. And just like that, I'll take my next giant ring. Thank you. Alongside my additional life, we have 999 coins after all, so we could definitely use more. It's not like we reached the max capacity or anything like that. Anyways, any day now. Oh, beautiful. Even released a lot more badniks, but now we have to play the patient game once more and wait for this platform to get us up there. Any day now, thank you. Nice. And instead of that, we have to destroy yet again another captain. Apparently there were two of these things were made. Boy, is that convenient. Even surprised flying batteries survived this whole thing. Since this one was supposed to crash land into Xantopla zone. After the event of that one contraption Robotnik built, which resulted in the destruction of the zone as a whole. Goes to show the convenience behind building these things in less than 10 seconds or so. But anyway, just like that, as always, more flickies have been freed, and just like that, that is Act 1, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I'll take the shield. With more bouncing out of the way. Which, as most of you also notice, you can even bounce the sign around, since it conveniently always just drops down out of nowhere after you beat a mini boss in each act, in the first active zone. Pretty cool, since it not only gives you bonuses, but if you get it to land in a specific spot, then you'll even get a bonus, whether it be an extra life, extra rings, or even a shield. Pretty cool if you ask me. Anyway, when we're back out of the way, we're back to taking damage and yet again grabbing another shield in less than 10 seconds later. Convenience, am I right? Anyways. Do gotta love the music though. Unforgettable, truly unforgettable. Again, I could say if you're whether or not you're playing on, and if you're playing on the Sonic Origins port of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I could easily say without hesitation that each zone apart except Carnival Night, Highest Cabin Launch Base have unforgettable soundtracks. They're pretty memorable, especially the second acts. And I think I just screwed this up. Hang on. Gonna go closer for obvious reasons. I don't want to suck it to death within 10 seconds or less. Thank you. Not today. I finally learned my lesson. Hopefully. Anyways, any day now. And I've always gone the wrong way. Beautiful. Back to doing things the unintended way, shall we? Gonna go up for curiosity's sake. Or not. And this is just how much convenience likes to tease you, at times. Well, back to platforming. Beautiful. We would later on go see this aspect 3Ds later down the line with Sonic Mania. Only Master to put it that way. Could even go as far as saying that the Sonic Mania version of Sky Batteries, in my opinion, a whole lot longer than the one in Sonic and Knuckles. Once again, there was a lot more going for it, since I could say that for each zone in Sonic Mania, they really just revolved around using that zone's aspect, whether or not it was original or not, combined with another zone from a different title. It's pretty cool. It ultimately just gave the zone a lot more creativity and new life. Apart from just being a get to the end straightforward level. Makes it a little more complex. And speaking of lore, pretty sure you just saw the decent amount of capsules earlier right there. It just goes to show how many of these things were even designed to hold all those flickies. Guess we never saw those in National Tollmania, which came later. Speaking of which, here we go again. There's the Aggro one yet again. He has decided to use robotics best, which is best contraption yet. This one laser that resulted in the destruction of flying battery. I mean, if it worked so well last time, then why not use it again? I mean, it's not like anything was meant to happen. But anyway, just like that, your two options to beat this mini boss is to A, use the super or the hyper carriers whether or not you're playing as Sonic or not, or B, play the patient game and wait for this thing to kill itself. Once again, Knuckles can't jump outside to kill this thing. And just like that, the Aggro will yet again runs away and proves to completely outrun us as yet again the flying battery collapses or crash into Sandalphus, put it that way. And I hope I didn't just kill myself again. Please no. Thank you. Should have grabbed the rings, but oh well. It's fine. I don't think they're even 50 anymore. Oh, never mind, the door. Never mind. I guess I probably should have grabbed those rings, but it's fine. This became so convenient that the game even decided to give us 10 more rings, and now you have more than enough to beat the boss in less than 10 seconds or so. Anyways, here we go. Any day now. Again, the egg robo fights are just like the ones in the vanilla game, with the only difference being that there's a bit hard, slightly hard, quote-unquote hard for that matter. As shown here. Because normally he would only do one attack. He would only lunge up towards you and then use his fire attack on you separately. But now he does both at the same time. You might as well implement some creativity while you're at it, and again, spice up the difficulty. And exactly the reason why I said that this was supposed to be quote-unquote a hard campaign than the Sonic one. With again not only Knuckles' advantages and disadvantages, but with the enemies themselves and the boss fights. Sure, the mini bosses may be as easy as ever, but at least the zone bosses are somewhat creative, which does make them memorable. Anyway, since we're playing as our boy Knuckles here, we don't even need that. Not today, thank you. So going this way. Do me a favor here, why thank you very much. But anyways, with that out of the way, we have officially crash landed back in Sandalphus Zone. Everyone's favorite zone in Sonic and Knuckles, am I right? And just like that, I accidentally killed myself. Beautiful. I thought there was something over here, and I was wrong. Well, here we go again, back from square one. Fantastic. Will this ever get old? This is just a rinse and repeat now. Well, to be fair, that is pretty much the case whether or not you're playing as Sonic or not. Since when it comes to Sonic 1 and 2, it's pretty much just the same game. It's just the same game, even if you pick different characters. Nothing really changes, apart from most visuals and from their own abilities, and obviously some newly added obstacles from here and there. Whether or not you're playing the Sonic Origins port, since originally, if you're playing those cartridges on the Genesis version, that would technically not even be possible. Unless you were playing Sonic 2, of course, since that was the only game apart from Sonic Knuckles where you could play as Knuckles the Echidna. Well, here we go again. Any day now. So you yet again have to navigate our way through Sandalphus Act 1. It's saying that Sandalphus is pretty much quote-unquote pretty much the marble zone of Sonic 3. Or Sonic 3 and Knuckles, to put it that way. Just because of how much is going on, because of how long the level feels. You can even spin that into things to push them a lot faster. It's originally not an option before, but you can do it now. It was really not an option in other Sonic games like Sonic 1, but in Sonic 3 that was an option. Or it did become an option at least. Again, I still can't talk, please forgive me. At times my comments here may not make perfect sense. Beautiful. It's already going so well, if I do say so myself, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Here we go again. But it's perfectly fine, since we're playing as Knuckles here, so... Perfectly alright, if I do say so myself. Beautiful. Nearly avoiding falling back to the pit there. And just like that, my good old friend Suffocation has given me the good old greeting. Thank you. And we hit the checkpoint, since again, Suffocation cannot... I'll never catch a break. Any day now, please. Thank you. So to be fair, while the Knuckles campaign is technically longer than the Sonic one, to be fair, it doesn't have a it is technically shorter than the Sonic campaign too. Since obviously the Death Egg's not a thing, so technically the Death Egg Zone, the Death Egg Zone and Doomsday Zone are out of the question. Since to be fair, the final zone the spoiler alert, the final zone in the local campaign is actually Sky Sanctuary Zone, or the remains of Sky Sanctuary Zone, since that zone was supposedly nearly destroyed after the events of the Sonic campaign in Sonic and Knuckles. Just because of how much was going on, how many planets were falling down because of the Death Egg's launch. Again, it goes really deep, just in case you thought the Kirby lore was long. Which, yet again, could be its own separate video, both of which could be either 24 hours long, however you want to put it. Depends whether or not you want to oversimplify it or not. But anyways, here we go. We've gone off topic enough for one day. Back to Sonic, here we go. Anyways, this is the mini-boss in a nutshell. Knuckles has pretty much described it. Pretty much the way this mini-boss works is you can't actually hurt this thing. You have to hit it, you have to get it to kill itself yet again, as always. And so that's pretty much every boss fight in Sonic 3 Knuckles. All you have to do is just lure it to the pit of quicksand, and then right as it's about to turn around, you have to push him. Just like that. Easier done than said. And with that inconvenience out of the way, on the Xanthopolis you go. Or to Act 2, I meant to say. Thank you. We'll take the longer while. Thank you. Why, thank you very much. Sure hope this is acting as a benefit for everyone here. I'm trying my best. I'm sorry. Anyways, here we go. Back to the inner portion of the pyramid to go. You know how the pyramid even rises right as you're about to fight the mini boss. Yet again shows a connection, and just like that, the ghosts are back. It's pretty much yet again works as the exact same as it did in the Sonic campaign, where you want to constantly press the switch to yet again brighten up the level. That way the ghosts don't come and attack you. If you stay in the dark for too long, the ghosts will become supposedly too powerful, and they'll officially become one with the afterlife and one with the undead, and then they'll just get the ability to hurt you now. You definitely don't want to know how that feels, especially if you want to save up in a ring to go hyper later on. To be fair, this is really only the case for Act 2. Since, to be fair, the boss of Xanthopolis Act 2, or the Xanthopolis boss for that, the boss zone, I have no idea what I'm saying. The zone boss, I meant to say, for the Xanthopolis is actually pretty easy. If you constantly just jump and then hold right, you'll pretty much kill him in less than 10 seconds, and he'll hardly have a chance to attack you. Well, it looks like we're dropping down, so I'm not going to use that. I don't want this to take 200 years. No, thank you. Anyways, here we go again. Oh, thank you. I guess that's a thing too. Again, Suffocation just giving me the good old greeting, as always. Thank you. Boy, can this get any more convenient? Now can it? Out of here. No, thank you. Any day now, please. Please and thank you. Don't even know why I bother pushing that button. Didn't even need to. Since again, we're playing as an echidna here, not as a hedgehog. All back to platforming for us we go. Any day now. You want to speed up the process just a bit? I'd recommend spin dashing when you push things around, since it speeds up the animations. Oh, thank you. There it is. Again, convenience just tries doing me a good old favor here, and I'm just getting me killed every 10 seconds. This is the theme. This is the theme of the live stream now. Fantastic. And thanks to that too, I can't even get the Switch now. Beautiful. This is gonna be the entire video now. 100% dramatic too. No, thank you. But no matter how much convenience gets in the way, I'm determined to get past this, to get past the Indopolis zone. Past Knuckles at least. Anyways, here we go. Again, while I don't mind the difficulty, it is pretty understandable to see why a lot of people tend to just not like this one and just ignore it all the more. Yet again, just like I said earlier, it plays a lot more like Marble Zone. Like the life of Marble Zone, at least. Anyways, about time we hit a checkpoint. Just looking for one of those things. Or a start pose, at least, however you want to call it. Just like that, ladies and gentlemen, done and done. Don't even have to wait for this answer. Again, we're playing as an echidna here. Never mind, I guess we do. Since physics gets in the way 90% of the time, so here we go again. Gotta love seeing that all the time. Gotta love seeing that around. Anyways, back to hitting Switch as we go. But no, to be fair, it is understandable to see what they were trying to get out of Sandalwood. It was trying to be somewhat. They were trying to implement somewhat of a quote-unquote racing aspect, but similar to how Marble Zone did in a way with platforms. Just because of how quick your reaction has to be to actually even beat the switch just the other side. Just like that. What did I say? Even this one part resembles that one part in Marble Zone too. Again, it just goes that deep. The resemblance just goes that deep. Oh, here we go again. Any day now. We should be 2 meters away from... Yep, there it is. What did I tell you? Convenience, am I right? Anyways, we're right there, and I'm gonna wait since I don't wait, I'm gonna stop getting to death within 10 seconds or less. Anyways, here we go. Going hyper for obvious reasons. Since I don't want to get hit by... Since I don't want convenience to strike me dead once more and then send me all the way back to square one. I think since yet again we're playing as an echidna. We're playing as Knuckles the Echidna. We can just do that and skip half the level. Thank you. Especially since we're in Sandalwood right now. And in case something like that ever happened. Beautiful. Convenience. What did I tell you? All part of my master plan. And now you know where... And now I've shown the location of one of the giant rings in the Sandalwood zone. There you have it. Always happy to help whenever possible. Anyways. So we're going this way by the looks of things. Nice. See that again? We're playing as our boy Knuckles here. Oh, beautiful. That's just great. Anyways. Pretty sure we have to press a switch somewhere. If I recall. Pretty sure you went the wrong way. Oh, well, it's fine. Oh, actually, no, never mind. It's right here. Never mind. I was wrong. And I think I just screwed this up. Fantastic. That's not much of a surprise now, is it? Anyway, we really have to act fast here. Thank you. What did I tell you? Yet again, doing things the intended way for once. Is that a first? You don't always see that often. Any day now, please. Please give me I would highly appreciate if the game would let me through right about now. Thank you. First try, obviously, with this Dylan. Anyways, with that convenience out of the way, back to racing, things we go. Oh goody. Marcos, I would really appreciate you. Thank you. It was bound to happen at some point. Nice. And there it is. There's our good old friendly egg robot, and yet again taking guard just for the sake of not suffocating to death within the first 10 seconds, and just like that, that is the boss, ladies and gentlemen, and that is Zen Doppelstone for that matter. Thank you. 10 years later, and a decent amount of suffocation out of the way, you can finally make way for Lava Breathe. Just like that, what did I tell you? Conveniently fall to our death. Anyways, Lava Breathe Zone Act 1. Here we go again. It's been a good while since we've been here, but anyways, for a good minute for that matter. Nice. Beautiful, that one mini-boss even made a comeback. How remarkable. Thank you. Just like that, what did I tell you? My good old friend convenience. Could even go as far as saying that within this playthrough alone, convenience has shown up as a lot more often has shown itself as an obstacle rather than anything else. Just like that. We might as well just breeze through the level at this point, since I don't want to spend 20 years, so. Nice. Going this way, since never mind, for a second the genre was back there. Well, here we go again. Any day now. Neat. Thank you. And just like that, we don't have to worry about getting hit. All we have to worry about now is suffocation, our good old friend. And I'm playing patient game yet again for the sake of not dying. You're probably all tired of seeing that too. That is pretty much the way Sonic level design works. The obstacles hardly get in the way, but suffocation does, and convenience, obviously. Anyway, going this way, conveniently, we're even gonna make our way towards the giant ring, or not. Never mind. Keep forgetting there's a checkpoint here. Even though I made a practice run right before this. Beautiful. Anyways, by the looks of things, we're going up this time instead of going down. How remarkable if I do say so myself. Can even push the obstacles around. Or the spikes, at least. Pretty cool if I do say so myself. Anyways. Going this way. Yet again, more enemies literally decided to kill themselves. Beautiful. Welcome to Genocide City Zone, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Any day now. Nice. And just like that, we made it to the mini-boss. What did I tell you? Zones feel a lot shorter now. Kind of. And as always, again, this is hardly even a mini-boss. This is just yet again, quote-unquote, preparation for the final boss. Even though you don't fight the Death Ape robot in the Knuckles campaign. Pretty weird, but I guess they pretty much wanted to save us much time, so they pretty much just ran out of ideas for a new mini-boss. Could have always used that one obscure enemy from earlier, but again, for being too identical to the one in More Garden Zone, it would have technically just been that same batting 2.0. Do you only have to destroy the two tentacles supported that way? You only have to destroy the hand, and you should be good to go. That's all you have to do. It's that easy. Anyways, here we go again. Oh goody. You even got an extra life out of that. That's first. Anyways, lottery got killed. Take the conveniently placed monitor, and we're out of here. As yet again, physics has shown its face, and just like that, the lava cools down in less than 10 seconds, even though it's molten rock. Anyways, up we go. Oh, goody. Going this way. I want the shield. Yeah, again, immunity to fire is essential when it comes to Law Reef. Hence the name. Pretty much just loop back too. Anyways. It was worth grabbing that law. It was worth getting the immunity to fire. Trust me. Everything happens for a good reason. Just like that. What did I tell you? Anyways, if I can, I'm gonna try my best to get on top of these. Yep. Nearly, and I'm still trying to yet again make one simple jump since Knuckles can't jump, since Knuckles can hardly jump high. And now we're about to spend about 12 years here. Fantastic. Completely forgot what to do here. Fantastic. We went there last time. We have to go this way. Oh boy, here we go again. There it is. What did I tell you? There it is. Some obstacles Knuckles can't navigate his way through, since again he can't jump high. Because of all that muscle power he contains, as he puts in the movie. To be fair, it's pretty funny. Anyways, here we go again. Oh goody. Oh boy, oh boy. And we have 50 rings, how convenient. Again, convenience strikes back once more. Who would have known? Anyways, back to climbing. Again, exactly why you want, the reason as to why you definitely wanted to grab the fire elemental shield earlier. Speaking of which, there were actually three elemental shields again. One of which grants you immunity to fire at least, and then the electric one just again grants you immunity to electricity, and then just pretty much grants immunity to electricity, and then just attracts any nearby rings. Pretty cool if I do say so myself. Anyways, too much to take damage here. Oh boy, oh boy. That's why I'm taking additional precautions. I guess I hardly made my way through that, and it looks like we're not going to be able to. Any day now, please. This is right when you spin that, it's always the quickest way to get rid of that aspect. Yep. Actually, like before, the quickest way to get rid of the effect that those enemies give you is to either kill them or to just spin dash. Since if you spin dash, then you leave the particle effect behind. Or else you'll have to suffer a jump and a speed penalty, and you definitely don't want to know how that feels. It's going back this way, since, again, the Egg Robe was going to put up the biggest fight he could possibly ever put up since Carnival Night, and there's only going to be a capsule at the end, as always. All that hard work just for that. Beautiful. There's respect. And just like that, we're approaching Hidden Palace Zone. Just like that, what'd I tell you? By far the most intense boss level, am I right? 10 out of 10, definitely. But anyway, just like that, we're back to Hidden Palace Zone, and you gotta love the additional detail since the Death Egg's no longer there. And you can finally, yet again, make your way back to Sky's Entry Zone, or the remains of Sky's Entry Zone, since, again, it was damaged after the events of Sonic, of the Sonic campaign. I know, it's pretty funny. It's a weird glitch where if you go hyper right before the transition to Hidden Palace, you just keep it since the game assumes you're still in the same zone. Speaking of which, as most of you already noticed, there it is. Good old boy Mega Sonic from earlier, since he apparently, I guess, survived the incident he had back in Sky's Entry, and he's back now. To be fair, we didn't completely destroy him, given by the fact that he didn't just shatter after he's defeated. He just kind of powered off for a bit. But anyway, just like that, he accidentally kills or destroys the Egg Robo in the process of trying to kill us, and just like that, rest in peace, Egg Robo. You'll be missed. by far the Badnik who probably put up the most of a fight, and just like that, Megasonic really wants to put up a better fight, and in my opinion, he's the easiest boss there ever was. Which is exactly why he even bothered using the powers of the Master Emerald itself. He really just needed to change his moveset altogether, since he was just that easy to kill. Not the best iteration of a Robot Sonic, but still pretty creative. Goes to show how even the Badniks for even Robotnik's invention can even harness the powers of the Emeralds too, and the Master Emerald too. Since supposedly the Master Emerald pretty much just gives you it shares the amount. It's pretty much just the equivalent to all 7 emeralds. It is called the Master Emerald for a reason. So hypothetically, if one were to absorb its power, you would they would reach their super form. And in this case, Super Megasonic. You have to kill now. His pattern is relatively simple. You just have to wait for him to always shoot his projectile sword to you, and then his effects should run out relatively quickly. I always recommend you stay far to the right. That way his other attacks won't reach you. But anyways, after that, he'll turn back to normal since again, I guess the effect wears off after all, for once too. So I guess he really didn't have all that many rings on him, did he? But anyway, once he turns back to normal, I always recommend you hit him right as he is about to absorb them, right as he jumps onto the emerald. Yeah, that's pretty much the lore. Like, the Master Emerald is pretty much the reason as to why the emeralds even evolved into the Super Emeralds in the first place. This all goes pretty deep, you know, from the Hidden Palace in West Island to the Hidden Palace in Angel Island Zone. Angel Island, I have no idea why I keep saying Angel Island Zone, 2 to the first second game. Please bear with me here. Anyways, 10 out of 10 final boss here. His pattern is not that difficult to learn. It's pretty simple. And we're pretty much right up to phase 3, to put it that way. He's gonna do that, and after a while, his effect's gonna wear off, since he's supposedly just using his own rings to attack us now. At least that's what that's supposed to be. And just so that he hardly puts up a fight as always, then he dies. Rest in peace, Megasonic, you will not be missed. I still think the best Robot Sonic fight's the one in CD with Metal Sonic. But anyway, just like that, we got the good ending since all the Super Emeralds were recovered, and just like that, the Master Emerald was also recovered apparently, since I guess Megasonic or the Egg just stole that off screen, and apparently Knuckles just went to Sky Sanctuary just to chase him down, and then cornered the two. Who knew that Megasonic was a true villain, was a true antagonist this entire time along? And just like that, there it is. Sonic saves Knuckles, and just like that, returns him on his plane, the tornado. And just like that, since we got all the emeralds, the power to Angel Island has been restored once more, and as the angel completely takes to the sky unharmed. Rest in peace. Let's just hope that Knuckles has. Now we just gotta hope that Knuckles conveniently has the ability to breathe oxygen at a level that close to the atmosphere. Rest in peace. You'll be missed. Since normally, if you don't get the emeralds, then Angel Island just since if you don't get any emeralds at all, Angel Island just returns to the ocean, then pretty much just loses its power entirely. But if you get all the Chaos Emeralds, then Angel Island just stays there and doesn't move at all. And obviously, if you get both, but if you get the Super Emeralds and the Chaos Emeralds, then Angel Island completely takes to the sky and pretty much just nearly breaks free from the atmosphere, to put it that way. Breaking the game, I do things to myself. Likely the campaign could have had more, but again, it is understandable since this was a continuation from the events of last game. And to put it that way, this was pretty much the end of the Death Egg saga, to put it that way. Since by this point, every Badnik in Angel Island was pretty much destroyed, canonically at least, even though that's not what actually ended up happening. Also pretty cool to see how you can get. It's also pretty nice noting all the zones all together within Angel Island, within the sprite itself. You can clearly see Lava Reef, Hydro City, Sandopolis, Marble Garden, and Mushroom Hill Zone, with the other zones just being hidden within. Could say its appearance, its 3D model and origin goes into specifies the actual location of each zone. Strangely enough, it's pretty cool if I do say so myself. But just like that, that is the Knuckles campaign in Sonic and Knuckles, ladies and gentlemen. A fun and unforgettable experience if I do say so myself. It only took us about 1 million deaths thanks to our oldest friend's convenience and the power of suffocation, but you know what? It paid off in the end, for the most part. Could even say this is my one live stream where I actually hardly talked about the lore. It's probably because the Knuckles campaign hardly really had a story. Since in short, it pretty much just goes how Knuckles was just chilling one day of Angel Island after the Master was returned to his former home, and then was pretty much immediately just disturbed or ambushed or attacked, however you want to call it, by the Egg Robo. By one of the Egg Robos, to be more specific, that survived from Sky's entry zone, since apparently Sonic killed all of them but one, and then Knuckles just proceeds to chase that one Egg Robo throughout Angel Island zone, just in hopes of really getting his revenge, and then eventually corners him and Mecha Sonic in the remains of Sky Sanctuary Zone, and then eventually kills Mecha Sonic, recovers the Master Emerald, and unfortunately Sky Sanctuary Zone is then destroyed. Rest in peace, Lore, you'll be missed. But anyway, just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we got the good ending. There it is. Gotta love that classic title screen with the 4 characters on screen. Originally it was only Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, since Amy was obviously the DLC. So I do wish they would have added an ending cutscene for the Knuckles campaign, since they just reused the Robotnik one from earlier, or from the Sonic campaign at least. Which does make a lot of sense, since all this supposedly happened before the events of the Knuckles campaign. But I guess that's a conclusion, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. Okay, now that is it. And just like that, that is it. Back to the title screen you go, and ladies and gentlemen, that is it. That is the end of the Death Egg Saga, and for that matter, the end of the conclusion of the original Sonic trilogy. Throughout the live streams, we not only 100% Sonic Hedgehog 1, Sonic CD, Sonic 2, but also Sonic and Sonic Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. We really did just finish what we started a long time ago now, did we? And boy, was it a truly an unforgettable experience. I highly hope you guys enjoyed my playthroughs of the four titles. I highly recommend you guys pick these all up whenever you get the chance. Since, in my opinion, I'd say, everyone, Sonic Origins has its own reasons to criticize it, but to be fair, it is somewhat underrated for that matter. I do believe it is a good collection, that is more than worthwhile looking into. But anyways, I highly hope you guys enjoyed watching my playthroughs, and I again apologize for the lack of commentary and efficiency for that matter, but hey, in the end it all came together. But anyways, with that out of the way, my next live stream will actually be covering Sonic Mania, since we're actually staying true to the Sonic timelines, and Sonic Mania supposedly takes place after the events of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles and the Knuckles campaign, so we might as well stick to the Sonic lore. No, we might as well just stick to the Sonic lore, shall we? Which, speaking of which, I'm planning to live stream that game on Monday, or in other words, that would be July 10th at 12 p.m. MST. As always, ladies and gentlemen, I once more highly hope you enjoyed my playthrough of these 4 titles, and I wish you all a fantastic day. Do take care, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye.